Build a polished wardrobe that shows you stay you wherever you go with Mack Weldon. Use code MAC25 for 25% off your first order of $125 or more at MackWeldon.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. That's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
Welcome to Ghostly, the podcast that puts the paranormal on trial.
Every 2 weeks, I unearth a chilling ghost story, tracking down the legends, the eyewitness accounts, and the history behind a haunting.
And I, your friendly neighborhood skeptic, get to tag along to poke holes in her theories. My job is to find the logical explanation, the creaky floorboards behind the ghostly footsteps.
In the end, it's not up to us. It's up to you, our listener, to weigh the evidence.
Yeah, you get to decide. Is it genuine haunting or...
is it all just senseless talk?
So before you summon the spirits today, make sure to hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening. It's the best way to make sure that you never miss a new spooky tale.
As always, we're your hosts.
I'm Pat.
And I'm Rebecca. Now let's turn down the lights and see what's waiting for us in the shadows. Is the Hotel Monte Vista haunted? Sorry. Okay, are we saying Monte Vista or
Monte Vista?
Monte
yeah.
Vista?
Monte Vista.
Okay, I mean it's probably Monte Vista, but we'll go with Monte Vista. It sounds fun to say it that way.
I think it's Monte.
Okay, all right.
That's how I've heard it, at least.
Yes.
By the way, we have changed our formatting a few episodes ago, and we're doing all the spooky stuff up front, so you don't have to listen to us chit-chat and all that.
Well, that stuff's fun, too.
Yeah.
Listener mail and all that.
And it's all there.
It's all there. It's just at the end.
And but I do want to say, this is one tidbit of information that I need to tell you now, that if you stick around until the end of the episode, we will be revealing our topic for October. So what we typically do is weekly episodes in October to honor the spooky season.
I mean, it's the high season for ghostly.
It is. 'Tis the season. And because it's our weekly, we do it weekly, but we're going to take the first week off, I believe, right?
Yes.
In October, because I mean, 4 episodes is hard. 5 episodes, we've done it before. But it is grueling for us to do that.
Well, and we've got some things going on. Anyways, we got to get to the episode, but just stick around till the end and you'll hear all about what's going to happen in October.
All right, so let's get to it. For nearly a century, the neon sign of the Hotel Monte Vista has cast a glow over downtown Flagstaff, acting as a silent witness to the city's history. Within its historic walls, the whispers of cowboys, Hollywood royalty, and secret dealings seem to echo through the halls. While many know it for its famous guest or its colorful legends, the hotel's most remarkable story is often overlooked: the surprising and ambitious tale of how it came to be built in the first place. It's a story that reveals the true character of a rugged frontier town determined to forge a grand future for itself, one brick at a time.
From the infamous Meat Man of Room 220 to the vengeful ladies of Room 306, this historic hotel is alive with ghostly tales. Add in a phantom bellboy, a rocking chair that won't sit still, and a bleeding bank robber who never left the lounge. Monte Vista has a reputation as one of Arizona's most haunted hotels.
All right, and I got to say right off the bat that we have not done an episode where we talked about a meat man before.
I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
We're going to start with it right away because that's how much I love it.
Oh, so okay.
Let's dive into our ghost.
So you have a ghost story?
I have a ghost story, yeah.
It's time for a spooky tale from our bad girl.
I didn't know the story when I booked room 220. The desk clerk gave me a strange look, but handed me the key anyway. The room smelled faintly of iron when I walked in, though I couldn't place it at first. That night, I woke to the sound of dripping. I thought maybe the sink was leaking, but when I sat up, I saw something hanging from the chandelier. Dark slabs of meat swaying gently, dripping on the carpet. My stomach churned. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, but when I looked again, the chandelier was bare. I tried to shake it off and turn the TV for comfort, but static filled the screen and then it switched to a cowboy movie at full blast. I reached for the remote, but before I could turn it off, the linens on the bed tore themselves from beneath me, yanked to the floor in a violent rip. Frozen in place, I felt it then. The press of clammy, cold fingers sliding across my arm. They clutched me, squeezing tight, like raw meat pulled from a freezer. I bolted upright, heart racing, and the room went still. The next morning, the curtains hung open, though I knew I'd closed them, and the TV hummed faintly, even though the power was off. I checked out without a word. The clerk just nodded, like she'd seen this before. Later, I learned the story of the meat man that lived here in the 80s. Some say he's still here, reaching out with cold, lifeless hands.
All right. So I did read about there being a meat man there. And I did read what he did. I don't understand why he did it, though.
I couldn't really find that out either.
Like, at first, I was thinking maybe he was making, like, jerky out of the meat.
Sure.
You know, but I don't think the lights would have enough heat to generate that. I don't know. It's a very confusing story to me. But how much of this is based on fact, then? Our usual question.
Yeah, most of this is kind of an amalgamation of different sightings that people have had. So
Okay.
we'll definitely get to it when we
All
get
right.
to our debate.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to the pet facts.
Yeah, pet facts.
Pets, facts. From a skeptic point of view. Pets, facts. He presents it all to you. Pets, facts, facts.
Okay, the story of Flagstaff itself is something worth noting. Flagstaff, Arizona got its name in a simple way. Back in the 1876s, a group of pioneers were traveling through the area to celebrate the country's 100th birthday, as one would do.
Sure.
They found a tall ponderosa pine tree, cut off its branches, and raised an American flag on it. This flagstaff became a marker for everyone passing through, so hence the name Flagstaff.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
The town really started to grow when the railroad arrived in 1882. As you know, if you listen to a lot of Ghostly episodes, you'll find that that's usually one of the reasons why a town grows is that transportation has gotten into that
I was just
area.
going to say a train, or later on, of course,
Highways or something. Yeah. The train turned the small camp into an important center for business. Because of the huge pine forest all around it, Flagstaff became a hardworking town built on logging and cattle ranching. As author Jim Kristoff wrote in his book, Medicine Woman, early Flagstaff was a place of
sawdust and cinders.
Yeah, Rebecca will be doing quotes during this episode. A tough but determined frontier town. But Flagstaff became more than just a logging town. In 1894, a scientist named Percival Lowell built the Lowell Observatory on a hill above the town because the night sky was so clear. So, you know, when you build like observatories, there's different reasons why you would do it. Population, one of them, but also a really good view. And because there wasn't much around there. Well, and you're on the top of a hill.
I was just going to say, so I'm not going to claim to be an expert of Flagstaff in any way.
You're
but
not?
No. But I do have a friend that lives in Arizona in the Phoenix area, which is, I think, what most of us think of for Arizona. But we did some driving through the state. And one of the things that I didn't realize is that there's, I don't, mountains is the right word, but, you know, there are tall spaces where it does even snow. I don't know about Flagstaff specifically, but I was just surprised that the land is not just flat and desert like we typically think of it. So I'm not surprised that there was a space to do that.
Well, this made Flagstaff famous for science and led to the discovery of Pluto there in 1930. The city became a unique mix of outdoor work and smart ideas. And a key stop for travelers on the famous Route 66 that goes from Chicago to L.A., I believe.
Yeah, I think
someplace in California.
Sure.
Yeah,
but there you go, more transportation.
Yeah, and the Chicago connection too.
Yes, of course, we gotta have that. Yes.
So by the 1920s, Flagstaff was a busy, growing city, but it was missing one important thing. What do you think that was?
Bugs crashing your pack's party. Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Yeah, a place for people to stay if they came to visit.
But not just that.
Ooh.
They needed a fancy one.
Oh, a fancy one.
A fancy one. A modern hotel for important visitors and tourists. The hotel that were currently there were old and out of date. So they wanted something more. So what do you typically do then? You wait for like an investor to come in and
try to entice somebody.
Yeah. And you try to get them to build it.
Or maybe there's an entrepreneur guy, maybe a local. We've had this before, right? Like a local farmer who has a lot of money.
Yeah.
He decides to go into business and open a hotel.
Yeah, but that's not what happened here.
Really?
The people of Flagstaff did something amazing. Instead of waiting for a rich person to build a hotel, they decided to build it themselves. They're just like, we're just going to build this place.
Okay.
So they started a GoFundMe at the time, you know? Although there wasn't a site called GoFundMe. There was no sites at the time.
Yeah.
But it was a fundraiser to collect just $200,000, which was a huge amount of money back then.
I can only imagine what that would be today. Yeah.
So the local newspaper, the Kukuni Sun, captured the town's excitement, declaring,
This is not a hotel for a few rich men, but a home for every man, woman, and child in Flagstaff.
In just 2 months, regular people from all over town, bankers, shop owners, and cowboys chipped in and raised even more than they needed.
Wow. I mean, I can just imagine like bake sales and like all the fundraisers and things that they did. And that's so interesting that they're just like, listen, we need a place for our friends to stay when they come to visit us.
Yeah. And where we could go too. So it became more than that.
Okay.
So a well-known architect by the name of Henry Trost designed the hotel with a classic Southwestern look. It opened on New Year's Day in 1927, and at first it was just called the Community Hotel.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. The town held a contest to pick a permanent name, and a 12-year-old girl won $25 for her suggestion, Monte Vista, which is Spanish for mountain view.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I was like, is that Spanish? Is that Italian? I don't know, but okay.
Yeah. Right away, the Hotel Monte Vista became the main gathering place for the whole darn town. It hosted big parties, important meetings, and family celebrations. During the 1920s, when alcohol was illegal, the hotel even had a little speakeasy of their own, hidden in its basement. The hotel became truly famous when Hollywood started filming movies nearby. When movie stars came to town, they all stayed at the Monte Vista.
You have to remember, seeing someone like Humphrey Bogart walking down the street was a huge deal for a small town like ours.
A longtime local resident might tell you,
the Monte Vista is where the magic happens.
Yeah, so the list of famous guests was incredible. We have John Wayne, we have Clark Gable, we have Carol Lombard, we have Gary Cooper, and so many more that I have no idea who these people are after those couple of people, but there is a whole list of them. It's even said that the idea for the movie Casablanca were first discussed in the hotel bar there. The hotel also had the town's radio station for many years, broadcasting news and music right from the center of Flagstaff. So, like many old buildings, the hotel got a bit run down over the years. But it was later carefully repaired to bring back its original beauty. Because of its amazing past, it was placed on the National Register of Historic Places, meaning it is an official landmark worth saving. Today, a lot of people know the hotel for its ghost stories that Rebecca is going to talk about, but its real importance comes not just from ghosts, but from history. As one recent visitor commented online,
Ooh, sorry, I need to be better about this. You're not just staying in a room, you're staying in a place of history. The floors creak, the windows are original, and that's the whole point. You can feel the story in the walls.
So the Hotel Monte Cristo is a beautiful reminder of what a community can build when they work together. A connection to the golden age of Hollywood and a true symbol of the city of Flagstaff itself.
I don't know if you want me to tell you this, but you just said Monte Cristo. Which...
Oh, Monte Cristo is a sandwich.
Are you hungry?
I guess I am. The Monte Vista. Yeah.
So I was just looking because I remembered reading something about tunnels underneath the hotel.
Okay.
And not just the hotel, but I think in Flagstaff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I feel like there's some people that try to claim it's part of, I don't know. I kind of a bigger thing than it really is. I think it was part of the speakeasy thing.
Oh, okay.
It's
maybe
how they were smuggling
barrels
liquor.
of
Yeah.
whiskey.
Yeah. I think there's a, I don't know. There are a few other reasons. I can't find them right now, but that I think makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
That they were using that for
So
barrels.
besides the tunnels, do you have anything else to add to the history here?
No, I don't think so. Other than, it seems like a really fun place when you read about it today.
Yeah.
I think it's, it's an older hotel. So the reviews of the rooms are, pretty much okay. I watched a video of people doing some investigating there and the room seemed fine. But
Did they find the meat man?
They did not find the meat man.
Oh.
But they did, or I should say every review and every video I watched loved the bar
Oh, okay.
and the restaurant and all of that.
Okay, well, great. Well, we're going to take a short break. Please listen to our sponsors. They're the ones that pay our bills around here, and we'll be right back. All right, Rebecca, it's time for a debate.
Let's do it. So
I'm assuming you have some kind of evidence.
I do. I guess I'm going to say I have stories and I have, there's a lot, there's like 9 different ghosts. We're going to focus on, the main ones,
Okay.
and then talk about some of the sightings of
Okay.
these. So the first, we have to dive into the Meat Man.
The Meat Man.
The Meat Man, room 220. So here's the other thing. A lot of these hotels that we talk about, they might have like one room that's haunted. This one has multiple rooms that are haunted. So as you talked about a little bit, one of the strangest, most unsettling residents. So people, like you said, this wasn't really just a hotel for people coming for a few days.
Yeah.
There were people that lived there essentially. So he was remembered as the Meat Man back in the early 1980s. So, I mean, sadly, that is a long time ago now, but, we're not talking about the 1880s or 1980s. He had a bizarre habit, which was hanging raw meat from the chandelier in his room.
It doesn't seem like a habit. That seems like, I don't know, that seems like something forced. Like a habit is something, right? That just, that you, oh my God, I got this bad habit. I keep doing this. I don't know why I keep doing it.
And they didn't stop him. They didn't say like, hey, that's a nice chandelier. Please don't hang your meat on it.
I got some stuff to talk about with this, but let's go forward then.
Okay.
Then all will be revealed.
Ooh, I see. After his death, guests and staff quickly learned that he really hadn't left. A maintenance worker once locked the room after finishing repairs, only to return minutes later to find the TV blasting at full volume and the bed linens torn and strewn across the room. To this day, guests report the TV turning itself on and off by themselves, which I did read a trip review that's where somebody talked about that. And more disturbingly, the cold touch of clammy hands against their skin in the night.
Okay. Well, a lot of the things I don't usually look into the ghost stories, but I was kind of thrust into them at this particular one.
You were curious about the Meat Man?
Maybe a little. So I have looked at my own ghost stories. I have not looked at the script yet, so I don't know what's going where and what's happening.
Sure.
But I know a lot of the stuff happens in the middle of the night. I'm going to talk about the stuff that happens in the middle of the night at another point, probably, that you're going to bring up. I'm assuming you're going to bring this up. So, but what I would like to talk about here is, so this phenomenon in this room, is the cold spots and sense of
there is also cold spots.
Yes,
that is also one.
Cold spots are almost always, when you're looking at these kind of places, caused by drafts from poorly insulated old windows. And they do have a lot of old windows there. The windows have not been replaced. I mean, they've probably been replaced since 1920, which is 105 years ago, but they have not recently been replaced. So, and I know that at your house, the windows are pretty drafty too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't feel random coldness in the middle of the room. I feel it by the windows.
Okay. But if you're there for longer periods, you can, though. I mean, it's just one of those things that happen. Also, too, you were talking about electronics.
Yes.
So let's just talk general about electronics. It's a hallmark of a building with aging electrical wiring. Even if the wiring was recently redone, just the idea of the building not being designed with that idea of wiring going through it can cause some issues. So voltage fluctuations and faulty connections are extremely common and can easily cause lights to flicker or the television to turn on and off, those kind of things. But, your idea that it changes channels and stuff like that, like it went to the...
Yeah, that was maybe a little adding in the story. But
I do want to say that is something that does happen in a lot of these paranormal situations, right? That people claim. And a lot of times it's found in these really old hotels that the walls were not designed with the idea that there was going to be electricity, that you don't want fluctuating in and out of it. And like the waves of the infrared waves of light that need to be used by the remote control. Sometimes the walls are too thin and it can go through the walls. And if the TVs are aligned in such a way, if every room is designed pretty much the same way, where you have a TV on the wall and then on the next wall there's the exact TV in that same spot, you can easily turn the channel then.
Okay, so you're saying when the TV comes on randomly, it's someone in the next room turning it on?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. That's just a possible, and that's all I can do is raise possible doubt, for these things. But I will say that this gruesome backstory may not be accurate, though, in itself. There has been people that have reported this, but the hotel has never claimed this. And there's no newspaper articles of the meat man dying. There was people that died in their room, so we can probably narrow it down to one of 50 people or something like that could possibly be the meat man. But it gets a little weird then, So hanging meat from the chandelier might not have actually happened.
Well, I will say the hotel does talk about their different ghosts.
Yeah.
So it's not that they don't.
But
claim.
they're not on record saying that there was a meat man that hung meat in room 220 in the chandelier.
Well, that's one of those stories I would imagine being something, especially in the 80s. It wasn't like people were writing that down. There wasn't a computer. So it probably just passed down among people. And maybe he did it once and he got labeled the meat man.
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't surprise me at all.
But even that idea of this, it creates a sense of unease then. When people know that something weird has happened in this room, some people might find that to be like grotesque or something like that. I mean, you see it if you watch any of those survival shows like Alone on the History Channel where they're making jerky and stuff like that. That's what they do. But that feeling leads guests to attribute these common infrastructure problems to a paranormal source then.
All right. Well, let me talk about the infrastructure a little bit. So, I had my grandma had a house that was built, it was an older house. It certainly was not built for wiring. Yeah. Same as you're saying, where that was added as things went. But, at that house or any other older house that I've ever heard of, it's pretty rare that a TV just turns itself on or, goes to full volume. I've been in hotels where there's maybe an issue with the remotes or whatever, but all of these things, like even if it was happening, they would be fixed. Like you wouldn't just, they wouldn't just continue. Like you would, like if you have that issue, or that would be known or would happen in all of the rooms. It wouldn't just be something that happened in the one room. So I think that's where I get a little like, there could be something paranormal about it if it's something that's only happening in the one space.
Or the hotel just is, they're okay with this idea because they don't have to spend money and they make money then too. So I don't know. I'm just saying that it's not that big of a deal if a TV turns on
at 2 a.m.
Whatever the case may be. And also too,
I would be terrified.
Also too, these could be exaggerations too. these stories, So I'm just saying.
You're just saying. All right, what's
Just
your
saying.
score?
Also, too, you can turn a TV on with the remote if it can go through the walls, too, because the remote has an on-off button, right?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, right? I mean, it's possible, but it would seem weird to me that it's just this one room that happens.
Maybe it's just situated just right where the TVs are kind of aligned, where if they're on the bed and they point it at this direction, there can be science that explains this.
I just feel like all right, then somebody needs to go and investigate this because I have not seen that as investigated at this place.
We would have to have full access to the hotel, and that's not going to happen. We're not going to be able to rent out a hotel.
Book the room next to it.
Book every room.
No, just the one next to 220.
What if it's the one next to that?
Well, now who's being a little bit silly? Like, it can go through 4 walls to turn on the TV.
We can't say. Maybe there's some kind of thing that amplifies it.
No, that feels pretty confident.
I'm going to give this one a 0. Debunked.
I'm giving it a 7.
7?
Yes.
Because you just like the meat man.
I do like the meat man.
Okay. What else you got?
All right. Let's keep going. Like, we can keep talking about the meat man because that's just a weird thing. I'd love to hear everybody's theories about why he was hanging the meat.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Next we have the rocking chair. And this is
in 306.
I have 305. There's 2 different rooms.
Yeah, 305 is the woman of the night.
Oh, I had it switched. Okay. So all right. 306 then is the rocking chair. Okay.
That's what I found.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. There's to be honest, it's probably flipped on a lot of websites. Like
I'm
because
sure.
It's
I'm sure.
So close.
Probably both of us are wrong. It's probably 304.
I don't know. But these 2 rooms, right?
Yeah.
They've got stuff going on. Okay, so room 306, then we'll say, has long been considered one of the most haunted in the hotel. And this is the one that you often see on paranormal TV shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The one video I watched was in both this room and the other room. But the ghost that lingers here is of an elderly woman who in life sat by the window in her rocking chair for hours on end. Guests today hear the chair creaking and sometimes even see it move by itself, sometimes knocking against the closet door. A few have seen the woman's ghostly figure gazing out of the window, waiting for someone who's never returned. But the most that I saw was the creaking and a little bit of the moving.
Yeah. So with this kind of thing, with the rocking chair moving like it, a likely culprit for that could be the building itself. Because a hotel built in the 1920s will have settled over time, right? But it settles different. It doesn't settle all at the same time in the same way, resulting in uneven floors. I know you're rolling your eyes at me already here, but a heavy, delicately balanced rocking chair placed at a slight incline can be set in motion by very subtle vibrations from guests walking in the hallways, traffic outside, or even the hotel's own plumbing or HVAC system. A strong draft from an old window or under the door could also be enough to start a gentle rocking motion. And staff or previous guest moving the chair and a person's inexact memory of its placement could account for it being found in a new spot. So therefore, I have to give this one a 0 too.
Wow. Spent a lot of time thinking about ways that a rocking chair could move.
Yeah. Well, I did a lot of research on it too.
So here's my thing with that is, and I'm gonna give my counter argument and then I'll finish up. But the idea is that this chair, I've seen the chair and I've seen the videos of it. It's not that heavy. Like people could, I'm sure it does not always sit in exactly the same spot. I'm sure people move it around. They do different things with it. So I don't think it's like, well, it's kind of this heavy thing that's in a certain spot. So always, every time the train goes by, it starts moving and, whatever. Like I don't know, like some of that doesn't really see it. Also, I feel like if there was something that could make it move, like people would feel that, like, or they would, like you would
feel
like,
the vibrations of people walking outside your room.
That if it was enough, or you'd hear them walking at the very least, and maybe your brain might think
maybe you do, but you don't attribute it to it.
I don't know
because it doesn't make sense in your brain.
I think the paranormal researchers would would think about that,
Well, I mean, but here's the thing. Since it's paranormal, you have to prove it to me. I don't have to prove it to you that it doesn't happen. All I have to do is come up with a reasonable explanation for it, because this is outside of science. I'm using science.
That's the Pat logic.
It is not the Pat logic. It is the scientific
logic. No, but I'm going to say, though, however, I am not strongly swayed by this one. I mean, with all of that said, I mean, it's a chair creaking and moving. Like,
it's doing what it's supposed to do, right?
It's a rocking chair. Yeah, like if it was a regular chair and it was sliding across the floor, that would be a different thing to me than a rocking chair starting to rock.
But also, just because I said it's heavy, it doesn't mean that the chair itself is heavy. It means it sits heavy too. It could be that it has more weight on the back end so that it rocks better, and the front end doesn't.
Maybe this particular tree, chair,
or the Monte Cristo sandwich that I was talking about earlier.
All right. So anyway, what's your score for this one?
0. I already said that one.
I'm 0 for this one. Yeah, and I'm gonna actually give it a 4.
A 4.
I kind of go more on the not probably paranormal side of it. All right, let's talk about the ladies of the night, as you mentioned.
The woman.
No ladies.
I only have one.
I have 2.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I do have 2, but only one died though. There.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
And this is definitely like apocryphal history. So I'm interested what you tell me about that. But one of the darker chapters in the Monte Vista's history is that it was not always the nicest of places. I mean, so we're talking the 1940s is the time frame, and it was a town hub. But it obviously over time, anyways.
This is when the hotel was in its decline, and
a
different crowd of people might have been
right.
there.
A little bit of gangster, right? The gangsters, right? Especially after the 20s. Are
you putting an
A
at the end of that gangster?
Gangsta? No, the gangsters.
Gangsters, okay.
But
like
anyways,
Capone.
there were sex workers there, is what we're trying to get to.
Yes,
Ladies of the night, as Pat said. We'll stick with that one. And so there is a story that there were 2 women who were murdered in this room by a client.
Yes.
And that...
No, one woman was murdered.
Oh, okay. Again, I have it that there were 2, so I'm interested to hear your story then. And that their bodies were thrown from the window to the street below. The women's spirits are said to remain in the room, angry and vengeful. Men who stay in the room often report waking up unable to breathe, as if ghostly ding, ding, ding hands, we haven't been doing that today, are covering their mouths or throats. Others describe the intense feeling of being watched or even reliving the strangling terror of that night through vivid dreams.
Okay, so what I have is that in the 1940s, this room was used as a brothel.
Yes.
So this was a regular occurrence.
Very common, yes.
But this particular night, 2 prostitutes, sex workers, were brought to the room, but one of them was violently killed and thrown from the 3rd-story window to the street below. The other one was not.
Okay.
And it's particularly men that report being awakened in the middle of the night with this one. So we did do an episode on sleep paralysis. And that feeling of being held down or choked while in bed are classic symptoms of sleep paralysis, which is a well-documented medical condition where the brain wakes up before the body. So what happens is when you're in REM sleep, your brain paralyzes you because think about it. If your body was allowed to move, your brain puts you through all kinds of craziness when you're in REM sleep, like different scenarios. And you might be running in one scenario. Well, you don't want to actually run. So your body paralyzes itself, which is weird that it can do it. And this is a very weird feeling. And I understand if you have sleep paralysis, that it doesn't feel like this. But they have documented this, so that's all I'm saying. The state can be accompanied by vivid hallucinations, too, and a strong sense of a presence being in the room, which would explain the terrifying sensations, too. The other phenomena like phantom knocking and changing TV channels, also with this one, there's another report of that too, can be attributed to the acoustics and the infrastructure of the old building itself. Sounds from pipes or adjacent rooms can sound like knocking, especially if it's like where they say they faintly hear stuff. And faulty wiring or remote interference could easily cause electronic glitches. And the power of suggestion is one of the underlying things with a lot of these cases that we bring up, especially on Ghostly. The power of suggesting, knowing you're in a haunted area, can also heighten anxiety and lead to misinterpretations of normal events. So things that would be normal or slightly out of the normal, but you automatically go to, oh my God, this is proof now. It's because of that whole idea of power of suggestion, which is super powerful. And if you don't believe it, look in and do some research on that, because it is amazing what suggestion can do to people at the right time.
So, I mean, I guess maybe that will be your counter to what I would say in response, which is, I mean, we've had this conversation, right, about when people feel this pressure or choking, right,
Mm-hmm.
which in this case is a bit more than just feeling pressure on your chest. I mean, if you're feeling like you're being choked. But to me, if I'm someone, like usually people that have sleep paralysis, and we kind of talked about that in the sleep paralysis episode, like it's not uncommon for them. It's not something that typically just happens once and that's it. I mean, there are definitely people that will say, I'm being haunted by a woman because every few weeks, every few days, whatever, I wake up and I have this. And then I feel like that's more like, okay, maybe that's sleep paralysis. Because again, the people that say they have it, typically it's something they have. So to me, if you're here and you've never had this before, and the only time you ever have it is in this room, and it feels like there's hands on you, like, I don't know that I'm going to automatically say, yep, definitely sleep paralysis.
Interesting thing is that most sleep paralysis cases are women that have them, but men can tend to have one-off episodes like that. It is one of those weird facts that just kind of happen. Also, I was going to say something else too. So the feeling of being choked too can be that your neck is paralyzed, and that can cause that. But it can be a one-off situation, and it happens more often to men, the one-off situations, than it does to women. Women tend to have it more chronic. And what else I was going to say is that it can happen too with different triggers. So your trigger can be every night, if I don't go to sleep before my partner, I'm gonna have a problem. Or if I go to sleep, after them, I have this problem. Or if you go to sleep in a different room, which being in a hotel, that different room can trigger this.
Again, I feel like it would happen more. But the other thing would be, I guess, if we wanted to do a study, would be how often is this reported in this room versus other rooms? Because again, that seems like if this is the room where it's most often reported, maybe the numbers might be higher than you would typically imagine someone having a sleep paralysis episode.
Well, that would involve science, but you're not the science person here.
I do like
paranormal
science,
person here.
but and I'd be interested if someone wanted to do that study. All right, what's your rating?
I'm going to have to go 0. If I can come up with an idea of what could cause it, I'm usually going to go with that over any explanation of there being a paranormal thing. That seems highly unlikely to me.
All right, I'm going to give this one a 7 as
7.
well.
So you got 2 7s and a 4.
Yes. All right, we got 2 more here.
Okay.
So the next is one of my favorites, the Phantom Bellboy.
Room 210.
Yes, room 210.
I got this one right.
Yes. And what's fun about this one is it involves John Wayne.
It does, yes. Yes.
So not all of the Monte Vista's ghosts are menacing. Some are just persistent. The most famous is the Phantom Bellboy, who has been reported knocking on doors in the middle of the night and announcing room service in a muffled voice. When guests open the door, the hallway is empty. John Wayne himself once claimed to encounter this ghost during a stay at the hotel, describing him as harmless but very real. Housekeepers, too, have seen the figure of a young man in an old-fashioned red bellboy's jacket walking the halls.
All right, so you're probably not going to like my explanation for this. I just wanted to say that in advance. So sound travels in unpredictable ways through old buildings. Because of the walls, we don't know exactly how things were built, especially buildings like hotels and stuff like that, where it's bigger than a normal house. Where
it's bigger on the inside?
Yeah, it's bigger on both the inside and the outside, you know. For those Doctor Who fans, Rebecca is making Doctor Who jokes now. Muffled voices are a classic example of sound bleeding from adjacent rooms, the hallway, or even a floor below sometimes. The human brain is excellent at doing something that is really annoying. It finds patterns in random noises, a phenomenon called auditory pareidolia. Vague sounds from pipes, wind, or distant conversations could easily be misinterpreted as words. Room service, especially when a guest has primed by the hotel's folklore to expect it. The John Wayne part of the story is an unverifiable anecdote that has likely been embellished over the decades, serving more as a great marketing tale than it is actual evidence, though, because there's no real reports of him saying that.
Oh, he didn't go on the record with the newspaper?
He did not. No,
share that story.
He didn't, unfortunately. I wish he would have.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
So here's my thing.
But he would have had to say like Pilgrim in the middle of it, though, right?
Yeah.
Listen here, Pilgrim. You're ever in room 210. So what's really interesting is that those two rooms that you said before were right next to each other, and then we have room 210 and room 220 for the meat man. Mm-hmm. So this is, I mean, they seem to be pretty close to each other, I would say.
Well, the rocking chair and the ladies were in the third floor.
Yeah.
So the thing about
I'm just saying that it seems to be pairs like that.
I gotcha. Yeah. Well, the thing about this though is I might, if you said to me, like, if I was like, wait, did someone just say something? And then I like couldn't find anybody, and you were like, it was probably just the pipes. I'd be like, or someone said something a few rooms over and somehow it carried weird. Like, okay, like maybe. But knocking on the door plus the words, right? And again, also something that repetitively happens in the same space is a very different thing.
But you're thinking of these people as being awake and very observant at that time. Picture the other way. They are sleeping and they're not being observant of their surroundings then because of that. It's easy to misinterpret these kind of things then. That's what I'm saying. So it could happen while they're sleeping too. And even if they say that they're not sleeping, they might be kind of in a half sleep kind of mood. I mean, you don't go to the hotel room to watch movies, right?
I mean, some people do. But my guess is, especially if this report goes back to John Wayne days, I mean, that's a lot of years of this. And the housekeepers, again, have their own stories about this and hearing his voice and even seeing him, which to me go, again, beyond just the middle of the night knocking.
And makes where you work a notable place that you can tell people, oh, I work there, and also fun. You can be like, oh, there's all kinds of ghosts there. It makes it sound more, and it's more.
Or not. It depends.
Yeah, it's more interesting to people when they hear stories then. So that's all.
To some. I assume you're giving this one your traditional score?
Yeah, 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this one an 8 because of John
An
Wayne
8?
himself.
Oh,
Yes.
because of John. That might not have even said it this way.
I think he did.
Okay.
All right, let's go with the last one here, which is the lounge.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the lounge when this happened. I think they called.
I think it was.
I think
yeah.
it was, but it's still around. So 1970, 3 men robbed a nearby bank.
Yes.
The story is that one was shot during their escape, but instead of seeking help, they stopped at the Monte Vista's cocktail lounge to celebrate. The wounded robber bled to death at the bar. Since then, patrons and staff have heard cheerful, ghostly voice greeting them with a good morning, even late at night. And some have seen drinks and bar stools move on their own. Many believe it is the dead bandit, there you go, lingering in the lounge. I mean, it could be something else, but that's the going theory, is that's who it is.
Okay, so there's also bar stools and drinks have been seen to move on their own, and the good morning. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Also, too, I'm going to use your logic to start it off. I'm going to say, what are the chances of somebody that just got mortally wounded wanting to go for a drink at the hotel bar?
Yeah, it wasn't a smart choice.
It wasn't
but maybe
even
he
like-
thought he was like, I'm dying anyway, so let me stop for a drink.
That would draw way too much attention, and the people that were with him would not allow this, I'm sure. So, and what kind of gruesome people are they that they robbed the bank, but they also are like, nah, he got shot. He can go to the bar and drink and die there. All right, so a busy bar and lounge is full of ambient noise and vibrations. I've been in a lot of them, unfortunately. I'm not a bar person. I don't really go to like local bars.
All right.
And the noise level sometimes bothers me too. Sometimes I get distracted with a lot of noise. A disembodied greeting, the good morning thing, could be a snippet of a conversation from the street, the lobby, or the kitchen that the bar's acoustics carry in a strange way.
I want everyone to imagine yourself in a bar or a lounge right now, whether it would be super busy with lots of people or a quiet bar. Is there ever a situation where you just heard somebody go, good morning, and you couldn't?
How do you know it sounds like that?
Like it was.
How do you know it doesn't sound like good morning?
I mean, okay, maybe. But like anything like that,
okay,
like
well,
you would.
What phrase can I use that would make more sense to you than that they said? Like Spillnock or something like that. Would that make more sense then?
No, I mean, like, again, good morning. Like you would either see the person that said it because they said it for a reason, or, you know, like it doesn't make sense to me. Like it's just not a thing.
Ghosts don't make sense to me, so it's not a thing. As for moving objects, a wet glass can slide on a slick bar top that isn't perfectly level due to vibrations from refrigerators, foot traffic, or even passing vehicles.
Totally seen that happen, would know what that was.
A wobbly or top-heavy bar stool can also easily be shifted by minor unnoticed vibrations. Also, these people are drunk in this bar too, so we have to take that into account too. And how often have you done or thought of something stupid when you were drunk that you could attribute to it, even though you probably don't drink? So
I don't drink it like I used to, but I don't know that it's not also the people that work there or people that, I mean, not everyone is like super drunk. But
the compelling bank robber story provides a narrative that encourages people to interpret these minor everyday physical occurrences as something supernatural. So I cannot encourage that in good faith. So I'm going to say 0 for this one.
All right. I mean, to me, the bar stool thing, it kind of goes back to this is different than a rocking chair, right? So it's a little bit easier for me to think like, ooh, if I saw that move, I would definitely have to question that. So for me, I'm going to give this one also an 8 because there's just a lot of craziness and a lot of reports on it.
So there's been a couple of 8s for you, a couple 7s, and a 4. So what would be your overall rating then? I'll
go with, you don't let me do a 6.5. So
it's not that I don't let you. It's the rules of how we do this.
It's Pat's rules, but that's okay.
Well, then give it a 7 then.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 7. Okay. That's what I was going to go with.
That's fine. I mean, it's not Pat's rules. It's also the rules of what we can do with our voting. With our voting.
Which people should go do, by the way. If you're screaming right now at the car radio, I don't know, wherever you're listening to this, know that you can go right now to ghostlypodcast.com and click on polls and tell us what you think.
Yeah, exactly. And you could tell me how I'm wrong then.
Yes.
All right. So mine would be 0, as often is the case on these kind of episodes. And we have decided to move the closing arguments behind the sponsor's words. So unfortunately, we're going to take a small little break.
Not unfortunate. We're gathering our thoughts.
Yes, you need to gather.
Meet us
I
on the
do
other
not need
side.
to gather, but
we're gonna have it together.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, so that brings us to the closing arguments. This is our last chance to convince you to vote our way. We are each given 1 minute of uninterrupted time, and we will time each other on the Ghostly Studio timer to keep everyone honest.
Yeah,
Rebecca,
I'm just coming off the cuff here with this.
Rebecca, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, and...
All right, so the Monte Vista Hotel Monte Vista, there we go. Is it haunted? There have been haunted stories about this place for a long time. I mean, since probably, I think the 40s was maybe the earliest I saw. We may have had a few before then, but it's been a long time. And it's the kind of place where if you talk to the people that work there and if you read hotel reviews, you're going to hear stories and they all kind of coalesce around these certain rooms. You're also going to see a lot of paranormal investigations, and there hasn't been any photographic proof, but I think some of that is because there's been a few claims of people seeing figures. I think in this one, it's more paranormal activity. It's more about feeling the cold spots and the hands. And anyways, I just think it's haunted.
Oh, you went past your time.
I had so much to talk about, but
right.
I made it to the buzzer.
You made it a little past the buzzer, I'm just going to say. All right, so I'm going to go, and I am ready, so... All right, so there is a lot of creep factor here, but the creep factor comes from other things, not the paranormal and not the meat man. So, you're away from home. Being away from home is always a little bit unsettling to people. You're also in a place that was built in the 1920s, which therefore would probably have dimmer lights, I would imagine. So that's a little bit unsettling too. Also, too, people have talked about it being slightly outdated now. That can make you feel unsettled. There's a lot of things that can make you feel this way. And given the history of it too, you put that together with just some small occurrence that you might brush off if it was at your house, but now you have heightened awareness and you are going to say that it's paranormal. This just isn't. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And I finished before the buzzer.
Just barely. As you can tell, we both had a lot to say. So I'm going to tell you right now, I really want the votes to come out for this one. I feel like we're both a little spicy. We're both a little excited about this one because there's just a lot of little things. So go vote.
But
right?
Your spice has like Carolina Reaper in it. My spice is more like mild spice.
I am 100% sure that is the opposite of how this went today. So yes, go to ghostlypodcast.com/polls.
Or just click on polls when you go to ghostlypodcast.com.
Absolutely. Let
just go to our
us
website.
know, right? Let Pat know.
So this would be the part where we do shout outs. There's 2 ways to get a shout out on Ghostly. The first way is to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. We always love those 5-star reviews, but we're going to read any and all reviews that we receive, and we did not receive any. The second way is to become a member on Patreon. Just think about it. It's spooky season coming up. might as well join us and listen to some other stuff too. I mean, we have over 30 episodes of Ghostly X on there, and if you subscribe, we'll make even more too. Just go to ghostlypodcast.com and click on Patreon in the menu bar. We have a few different tiers to choose from as simple as $1 all the way up to $10 is the most expensive one.
I mean, and there are some benefits to it, and it also is just really helps us keep going. Again, we don't make a profit on Ghostly. We are doing this because we love to do it, and you're listening to the ads, you're becoming a Patreon member. These are just things that help us keep the lights on.
Yeah.
Keep it going, and we really appreciate it.
Keep the lights on and not flickering.
Yes, no flickering.
All right. So do you have any listener mail?
I do have a listener mail. We finished up. We had a lot of weeks. Thank you again to Abigail for all of her ghost stories. And so I'm sorry. Carrie is who we have today. That this
why
took.
Are you sorry?
I was just.
Oh,
I was going to say why.
Okay.
Which is that it took us a little while to get to this.
Oh yeah.
Because we had just a lot of weeks of the other letter. But this one I think is a great example. One of the things, Pat, you always say to get like really in a way a shout out is to write to us if you have been to one of the places that we've done an episode on.
Exactly.
And that's what this one is.
Yeah.
So again, this is from Carrie, and she says, I just listened to your podcast about the Terrence Inn in Michigan, which I remember that episode.
I do too,
that was a pretty spooky place. And thought I would share my recent experience there. My two friends and I stayed there at the end of May 2025.
Oh, so pretty recent.
Very recent. I was aware of the haunted reputation when I made the reservation, but I have stayed there before without incident. We stayed in room 303, not by request. It just happened to be where they booked us.
Mm-hmm.
Just after we arrived in the suite, my two friends heard the sound of someone trying a key in the door of the second bedroom where they were unpacking. They called out, "This room is occupied," and the sound stopped. Because I was in the adjoining room with the door, which had the entrance to the suite, I looked out into the hallway, thinking to clarify the situation with the other guest, but no one was in the hallway. On the first night, I heard a loud thwack coming from the area between the two rooms of the suite. It sounded like someone hitting a wood table or board very loud. The next afternoon, I was standing with one of my friends describing the sound. At that moment, it happened again, very near where we were standing, again in the passage between the two bedrooms. We passed it off as old building sounds, but it was strange. The next morning, my friend found an inflated, round, silver balloon on the floor between her bed and the exterior wall. She didn't give it a thought other than to move it to the space between the TV screen and the wall so she wouldn't stumble on it. None of us had brought balloons or placed it there. We figured that maybe it was left from previous occupants and rolled out from under the bed during the night. The morning after that, we found a blue balloon on the floor, in the same place as the previous one. Puzzled, I placed both balloons on the spare bed and checked under all the beds for more. None were to be seen. On the next morning, we found 2 more balloons, both silver. One was a small round balloon like the others, but the fourth was a large star-shaped balloon, too large to fit under the beds. We told the staff, who immediately asked us which room we were in and verified that a lot of activity happens in that room. They also said that this was a new one for them. We have no explanation, but a lot of questions.
Wow, that is really, really weird. We have never had phantom balloons.
No, this is amazing.
I mean, I guess. And I'm not trying to debate the story, but I'm just thinking out loud here. I guess it's possible to slip a balloon under the doorway and then fill it up, if you have like a pump or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know how you would tie it though. Maybe there's a way you can tie it then too. I guess
you
there
wouldn't
is.
hear that, and like then it would.
No, maybe they were out. Maybe they were out at the time or something like that.
Yeah, but that it would land in the exact same spot.
It's very weird. I don't know. It's very weird. But if you have your own weird story or just something that happened at a place where where we've talked about, or nothing happened at all when you expected something, email us at info@ghostlypodcast.com or use the contact us form on ghostlypodcast.com or just get in our DMs. Or one of our favorite ways, though, is always to get stories in the actual mail. P.O. Box number 264, Geneva, Illinois 60134. That's in the footer on our website, too. So if you didn't write that down, just go to ghostlypodcast.com, scroll to the bottom, and it's right there. And we check it like once every 5 months. So we're due for a check soon.
Yes, I will get over there.
Yes.
Okay, in our last episode, we talked about the ghost town of Bodie, California. Do you know why I'm mentioning the last episode, Pat?
Because you actually wanted to say that it sounded like Booty, California. Am I allowed to say booty?
I think so.
Bootai?
Bootai.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about Bodie, California, and we're talking about it because we are going to give the poll results.
Oh, no.
Yes,
no.
it's your favorite
Oh,
time.
my God.
So what did y'all think about the ghost town of Bodie, California? We had a yes of 56%.
Whoa.
And a no of 44%.
Man.
It landed on the haunted side. That place is cursed.
Yeah, and if you were one of the people that voted and you gave how haunted you believe it is, you can do 1 through 10, I believe. And I would love us to be able to have a 0 in that, but our poll situation doesn't allow 0. But it definitely doesn't allow 0.5s either. Because they're little hearts. You give them little hearts. Mm-hmm. I wanted to make that ghost. It doesn't work either. It was 4.38.
Which is pretty high, actually.
Yeah, even a lot of the no's I noticed still gave it like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but like so many people sending stuff back saying there's. Anyways, we're not going to re-debate it, but I'm pleased. Okay.
But don't let your friends miss out on the chills. Share Ghostly with them and help us grow this community of paranormal enthusiasts. Your support means the world to us. I want to give a shout out to our VIP producers who make this all possible. We have Andrew,
Alicia,
Becky,
Cindy,
Kevin,
Jessica,
Alice,
and Aaron.
Is it real? You can be the judge. Share your verdict at ghostlypodcast.com poll section and let the debate continue. Subscribe to Ghostly now and get ready for more spine-tingling encounters with the unknown, especially in October.
Oh, here it is.
When we will bring you 4 episodes. You wanna divulge it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So I'm super excited. So every year we have a theme. I think last year we did haunted prisons.
No, we did airports.
Airports. Oh, that's right, haunted airports.
Yes.
But this year we're gonna do celebrity ghosts.
Yes. So we're gonna spill the celebrity tea on the ghost.
There you go. It's gonna be super fun. We'll be talking about celebrities and how they still haunt us. We'll talk more about who as we get a little closer.
Yeah.
But be sure to keep at the ready all through October.
Yeah, and if you have never listened to us in the month of October, the way that it works is we keep the polls open the whole entire month, just in case, because there's a lot of stuff coming at you at one time.
And there's a lot of things happening in October. It's our favorite time.
And we might put out a special episode with just the poll results this time.
We'll see.
Just to get the poll results out, because there's going to be 4 episodes. We actually do 5 episodes because the last episode in September we always leave up. So that'll be the next episode.
Yes.
We always leave those polls up too. So unfortunately, this one, you only have the 2 weeks in order to vote.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun. And also, and we said this last time, but if you are in the Chicago or Indiana area, northern Indiana area, we've got a great fundraiser
called
happening.
Sometimes Scaring is Caring.
Absolutely happening.
Which I actually helped name that.
Yes. October 18th.
Yes.
In Northwest Indiana.
Yeah.
And you can
be a lot of fun.
Check out our social media. We'll have more about it there.
Yeah. And you'll be able to meet Mr. Jack Chavez, the man who knows everything.
Absolutely.
You'll also be able to meet Bob from Bob After Dark.
Yes.
And hopefully Panic too.
I would hope so.
The man with the cape.
Yes.
Yes. So we have another episode coming out, right?
We do, yeah. Before we get to October, on our next episode of Ghostly, we've got a couple episodes. We only
have one more.
We have this one and then one more. Pittock Mansion.
Okay.
We'll go with that. In Portland, Oregon. And that comes out September 24th, 2025.
All right. Awesome. Well, until next time, stay ghostly.
Bye.